4,000 children die every day as a result of water-related diseases. Many of you have probably heard this statistic or discussed similar ones before. These are not hypothetical children living in tragic storybooks, but real people with homes, parents, and everyday lives.
They are the tired children in Mali that walk for long, hot hours to get their water from the Niger River. They are the thirsty children in Haiti that drink water from wells that are contaminated by human waste. They are children suffering from hepatitis due to polluted water in Pakistan, and there are many more children than just these. These 4,000 children have had their youthful potential stolen from them because of these global water issues. With World Youth Parliament for Water, we were given the opportunity for our voices to be heard. Through our connection together, we have decided to advocate, like many others do, for a plethora of water issues throughout different sectors that affect those populations in need for clean water, sanitation, or water access. And this simple fact remains. Those children have had their voices and their lives stolen, but they have the same right to accessible water as we do.
In the past 2 weeks, we have gathered together from all over the globe to discuss our own personal water problems. A common theme showing itself outside of international borders is the regional suffering from water scarcity, stemming from poor water distribution, management, and transboundary rivers problems. Developing regions often trade their water scarcity for overpolluted river systems. The water cycle has been affected in many other ways, usually connecting somehow to climate change, air contamination, and deforestation. A lack of education creates a disconnection from turning off the tap and actual water management. In reality, water conservation should be considered throughout every molecule of modern life. Through conservation of water resources and virtual water used in production. As we reflected upon our personal experiences, we put aside the regional differences that segmented the ways that we thought about our own water problems and came to the realization that the world truly is an integrated system, similar to the system we established in our parliaments. Every aspect of environmental management is somehow connected, and this connection should exist between youth and the higher water officials as well.
This has been repeated many times and may seem self-explanatory to these national officials and experts, but this personal realization that water is connected to every single part of every single human's life is so essential for world citizens to realize their personal agency of using water in their everyday life. The World Youth Parliament for Water as a whole strives to harness our youthful passion within a realistic context. We work to provide and construct a template for showing youth how to realistically construct solutions and network their collective capabilities with government officials, parliamentarians, and regional experts into productive solutions for the future. We have gathered for the third meeting of the World Youth Parliament for Water in the past week and a half to build and discuss our own youthful potential. The organizers that led us presented us with activities that focused on our own personal vision for what the next 15 to 50 years will be in terms of the water on our planet and the environment. We took these ideas and applied them to the ideology considering our own personal context and what will happen for us in the future and where we live. And we have a few videos presented of some projects that some of our parliamentarians have proposed.
Thanks for watching my project, The Political Picnic. In the Netherlands, we have a problem with politicians, and they talk about their decisions, and we as students are listening to them and are like, what are they talking about? So we came up with an idea. You and me and politicians should be brought together. ages, food, like spaghetti, has brought together people and made them love each other. So we came up with a project, the political picnic, in which politicians and normal people will come together and talk about politics. At the end, they can shake hands.
So the project talking about youth for water and climate change in Madagascar. It's done by Asna Kutunjaina. In Madagascar, many challenges affect people's livelihoods. For example, the climate change issues. And you can do heavy rains and floods and the cyclone. And to address these issues, we want to mobilize young people in different regions in Madagascar and mobilize them for the education for the workshop on climate change and educate them how to adapt for climate change effects. So these young people could educate their communities on their own regions, as people can adapt on climate change issues along of their life.
In May 2014, young people from across the Great Lakes, St. Lawrence River, and Gulf of St. Lawrence watershed came together for the North American Youth Gathering for Water. This 5-day event brought together 35 youth from Canada, the United States, and Mexico to empower them to work for water in their local communities and to share the context of their regional water issues. 5 delegates were chosen to represent North America on the international scale at the General Assembly of the World Youth Parliament for Water in Daegu and Gyeongbuk, Korea. As delegates, we have been inspired by our experiences at these international meetings, and we have created a project to engage more North American youth. We will build upon the work which was begun in Quebec City by expanding the scope of youth participation in the water sector through the establishment of the North American Youth Parliament for Water. This parliament will bring together even more youth from across North America and will be held in the summer of 2017.
What Haley and Agatha just...
We're not done. Sorry. As you can see, these are many of the different types of ways that youth have worked together to create their own projects. And there are many more, and we all believe in their success into the future. And World Youth Parliament for Water really stands to create these projects in our own personal worlds so we can start becoming leaders through project innovation, starting when we're still considered just youth.
We acknowledge that the water problems our countries face can be difficult for youth to solve alone. But we can take initial action toward reaching these solutions. We see the first step toward achieving these goals is to increase awareness among youth and adults in our communities about water issues. Younger generations are often seen as the striving leaders of the futures. But what about now? What are we now? We really can harness our passion into leadership and action today. And we will keep doing it for the next 15 or 50 years. Always being sure that we are not only improving the world for us, but also guaranteeing it for next generations, through the implementation of projects and collectivization of knowledge. We will be able to reach our goals. We will improve our current world, but also strive for more, in order to create the collective future that we all have been envisioning.
As youth, we may have strong will and seemingly naive determination, but facilitation and continued support, like we have seen through the past week, will provide, from these water officials, will provide the inspiration and support that we need. We challenge you to envision your own humble beginnings in the water sector, and then to concretely identify the last thing you have done for you. As we have heard many times in this conference, we are the future. It is time that influential water leaders and others step up and help make this distant future a present reality. Even if we are not acknowledged, we will persevere together to shape that cloudy future, starting with us, starting with water, starting today. Thank you.